Jai Baba. Nothing is real but God. Nothing matters but love for God. God is the only reality. All else that seems real is illusory. God and I are one. Meher Baba. Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Thanks to beloved Baba and Jai Baba to all of you. We are reading a new book, rather the second in the series of 4. It is called More Conversations with the Awakener. Last time we did the Conversations with the Awakener. But before we start that book, I have just to draw your attention to the fact that today is a very important day in Baba's ministry, when he embarked upon what he called his new life, the new life. This is also the day, 16th October. Of course, he started in the year 1949. Exactly 1 year by the date, 16th October 1950, he actually stepped out of the new life and into the old life for 4 hours. You see, and then again in Mahabaleshwar, and then again he entered into the new life till 1952 February. What Baba did, we really do not know. We have got absolutely no clue of what happened during that period. Externally, we know. So those who want to know, there are certain books. Bauji has written Meher Baba's New Life. Then there is New Life Circulars. There's a book called New Life Circulars. There's a book called Tales from the New Life. And there is also a chapter called The Blueprint for New Life, given by Erach, and it's in the book called The Ancient One, Noshirwan Anza's book, Ancient One, page number 38 to 40. So people who are interested, more interested to know what this new life is all about, can always refer to any of these source notes. But today I would like Soumya to read out this very beautiful message on the new life. We all know it, but it's always good to revise, because that is the nichor, that is the crux of what the new life stood for. What is the meaning of the new life and why the new life? So, 1 minute. Swami, I will just read out the message. There will be no explanation to that. This is just to go on record with regard to Baba's superb message on the new life. This new life.
This new life is endless, and even after my physical death, it will be kept alive by those who live the life of complete renunciation of falsehood, lies, hatred, anger, greed, and lust, and who, to accomplish all this, do no lustful actions, do no harm to anyone, do no backbiting, do not seek material possessions or power, who accept no homage, neither covet honor, nor shun disgrace, and fear no one and nothing. By those who rely wholly and solely on God, and who love God purely for the sake of loving, who believe in the lovers of God and in the reality of manifestation, and yet do not expect any spiritual or material reward, who do not let go the hand of truth, and who, without being upset by calamities, bravely and wholeheartedly face all hardships with 100% cheerfulness and give no importance to caste, creed, and religious ceremonies. This new life will live by itself eternally, even if there is no one to live it.
So that's the message of Baba's new life. And anybody and everybody who has the wisdom and the courage to take it up at any point in time in one's life can take it up on their own. It is something like he has infused all these attributes all these qualities into creation, and this will live perpetually, perennially, eternally, forever, even if there is no one to live such a life. The qualities will remain forever, they are eternal. So that's Baba's new life. Now we are starting with the book, as I said earlier, which is called More Conversations with the Awakener. But again, before we start that, I have something for you. 1 minute. Those who have not met or not seen the author, Bal Natu, one of my Baba friends, Baba brother, has sent me a small, very small clip of Bal Natu explaining about how these conversations came about. Very, 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 very short. I don't know whether you'll be able to hear it, but at least you'll be able to see him, and those who have not known will see him as to how he looks like. I tried to sort of, magnify the sound, but I'm not a great technological person. Anyway, wait a minute. No, sorry. So let's see how best we can do it. It is on YouTube. I don't know if it is. अरे बाप रे, किधर से आ गया ये? Sorry. All right. Can you see? Can you see?
Help me to take things as they come to me and be with him. And it was about this time a really great incident in my life happened. I'm not sure exactly about the time sequence. Here, Baba gave me the guideline of my life. And I would like to share a conversation based on that. But before that, I will give you how and when it happened. It happened at Meraza. It happened in the Mandli Hall. And I was alone with Baba in the hall. Maybe mid-80s or late 80s. I offered my prayers to him. And I was about to open the door. And it was just at that time that I heard a deep, deep voice speaking through every cell of my body to me. The voice was so sweet, so intimate, so inviting that any time I think of it, as if it transports me to that place in the Mandli Hall. It was just one sentence. I call it as my 12-worded mantra or the guideline. And the words were, please me more and more by depending upon me more and more. That's all. When I heard this, it really filled my heart with such joy, with such courage. And I felt that Baba is telling me that the way to be with him, to be closer with him, is to depend on him. In whatever we do, we have to think of him. And then he takes over, and then everything, in a way, will change.
So, Jai Baba, I am not sure whether it was very audible to you all. Was it, Rakesh? Was it audible?
Was perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
For
Baba.
me, it was
Yeah, it was
Thank you,
perfect.
Baba.
It was
Just
perfect.
wanted the people to have a feel of him, especially for those newcomers who have never had the opportunity to meet him. So now it's gone on record, Bal Natu speaking that please me more and more by depending upon me more and more. This was his personal mantra And in a way, it only means the same thing like when Baba says, there's a message of Baba which says, think of things you will not hesitate to think in my presence. Speak words you will not hesitate to speak in my presence. And do acts you would not hesitate to do in my presence. So all the time we are engulfed by his presence. And it's an art, it's a task. We have to work on that. And once that happens, as Bal Natu ji says, he just takes over and everything just falls in place. All right. So now we are reading, as I said, the second book of conversations. It says more conversations with the awakener. It has more or less the same, what should I say, color and texture and everything. So now let's go ahead.
Preamble. A conversation with you and the readers. You are the reality. I am a little nothing in you. However, in your unconditional love, you have designed a way most natural for me to come closer to you. It's a sort of private avenue where I can stop anywhere and have an intimate dialogue with you on any subject. I am beholden to you for this gift of a solitary route leading me closer to you. For me, our brief dialogues are always rich in significance and exhilarating. To others, they may be meaningful or meaningless. The conversations compiled here are the dim reflections gathered by me of what I said and what you said. But I must admit that in many instances, I might have missed or misunderstood or perhaps misrepresented some of your profound statements. Even where I have succeeded, however, words do have their own limits. They are only indicators. Here, I am reminded of the following incident. Once, I knocked on your door and asked, "Are you in?" You softly laughed and said, "I am not inside." Your repartee was a unique blending of a true and false reply laced with your humor. It also expressed simultaneously the utility and futility of words. You are at times so subtle that it is not easy to know what you mean. So, dear readers, these conversations may bemuse you or amuse you, may shock you or surprise you. But believe me, I don't mean to bore you. Salutations to you, thanks to my dear companions, and welcome to the readers. Bal Natu.
So this is the second edition to, I would not say edition, the second of the series of conversations, more conversations. The synopsis of this is that each one of us has this opportunity of solitarily meet Baba in our own space, in our own heart, and communicate with him on whatever subject that we want to communicate with him. And then he goes on to say that that is, he talks about himself, that whatever communication that have come through, they have come through words, and words are only indication to where it is leading to, like a signpost, and they have their own limitations. And as with all the monthly members, he also confesses that there is a probability that I may have missed out something, I may have misheard something, I may have even misunderstood something and misrepresented your words. So please forgive me for that, because whenever we speak about Baba's words, we interpret, even when we interpret Baba's gestures on the board or even gestures by the high hand sign, there is every possibility that we may have used another word. Very rarely Baba would stop and ask the interpreter to correct the words, but otherwise he would allow it to go as long as it is conveying the sense of what Baba wants to convey, the general sense of the subject. And then, of course, he says, once I knocked on your door and asked, "Are you in?" And Baba jokingly says, softly laughed and said, "I am not inside." Now again, you can interpret it so very much, because he is not just inside. He is inside, he is outside, he is omnipresent, and he is also beyond all these things. This is my interpretation of what Bal Natu ji had written. Your repartee was a unique blending of a true and false statement. It is true that he's not just inside, he's everywhere, and he's also beyond everywhere. And it is also true that he is inside, because the only place where we can find him, irrespective of where we may search, the only place where we may find him is within our own hearts, is within our own being. And then he goes on to say about these words, it also expressed simultaneously the utility and the futility of words. Words are having utility in a sense, they direct you to a certain place. And it has a futility because words in themselves are mere words. Unless and until these words are acted upon, these words are internalized, these words are applied in our day-to-day, moment-to-moment living. If they are not, then words merely remain words. And therefore, the futility of words and the utility of words. And you are at times so subtle, that means not easily understandable. You are so subtle that it is not easy to know what you mean. We do not understand, but even the Mandali, even the closest of the Mandali, even the wisest of the Mandali, like Dr. Ghani, they would just break our heads and say, sorry, I really don't understand what you are trying to convey. Because it is all an inner thing, it's all an inner experience. So then finally, Bal Natu ji ends up by saying, so dear readers, these conversations may bemuse you. Bemuse means bewilder. Bemuse means confuse you. These conversations may bemuse you or amuse you. Amuse, we understand. May shock you or surprise you. But believe me, I don't mean to bore you. And then salutations to you, that is Baba. Thanks to my dear companions and welcome to the readers. So he's welcoming all of us who have now embarked upon reading this beautiful piece of literature. Not just literature, but a practical, I would say, DIY, do-it-yourself kit for each one of us to imbibe and live by. So now let us read the first chapter.
Drops of your presence. I approached you and asked, do you know what they say about conversations? What? I'm omniscient, yet I do not know anything about this, and you chuckled. When anyone likes any of the conversations, the person comes to me with a look of surprise and suspicion and whispers to me, did you write that? Who wrote it? So, what's your reply? Simple, not me. Then who? I do not know. Why do you say that? What else should I answer? Well, you have to figure it out, and your omniscient eyes pierced me. Oh, now I know. The moment you wished it, I got it. Amazing. And you asked eagerly, what's the answer? It's not me. It's not anyone else. It's not you. Strange. Yes, it's strange, rare, but certainly true. What do you mean by this? Well, whenever you graciously pull me into the ocean of your being, the moment I come out, drops of your presence falling on the beach form these conversations. So they are mine, yet not mine. Your eyes sparkled merrily, and you pinched my ear. Clever! And the ripples of your lively laughter engulfed us and drowned me in your wordless presence. in response to letters from readers of the author's earlier book, Conversations with the Awakener.
So we had read the earlier book, Conversations with the Awakener. So many of the readers were aghast because those who know Bal Natu, yes, his English was very good. He learnt it on. He did not learn the English through English medium in the school, but then he learnt it and he wrote beautifully. Glimpses of the God Men. The 6 volumes have been written very beautifully. So here, one of the readers must have asked, "Hey, what is this conversation? Is it really you who's writing? How do you go about?" So very beautifully, he converted that also into a conversation with the Awakener, telling, okay, I'll read this again if you don't mind. I'll read this again. Drops of your presence. I approached you and asked, "Do you know what they say about conversations?" Bal Natuji asking Baba. "What? I am omniscient, yet I do not know anything about this." See, the divine joke, the divine humor is being omniscient. He acts as if he's infinite ignorance. He doesn't know anything. And you chuckle. When anyone likes any of the conversation, the person comes to me with a look of surprise and suspicion and whispers to me, "Did you write that? Who wrote it?" So what's your reply? Baba is asking, so what's your reply? Simple, not me. Then who? I do not know. Why do you say that? What else should I answer? Well, you have to figure it out. In Baba's ministry, we see that he doesn't give a straightforward answer, not always. Most of the time, he would ask a counter question. If you ask him a question, he would ask a counter question and make us dig deep into our being in order to find the answer. Obviously, it is he who gives the answer, but not straight on. Through the effort of our digging deep into our being, we get the answer. So what else should I answer? Well, you have to figure it out, and your omniscient eyes pierced me. Oh, now I know. So now Bal Natuji says, now I know, because the omniscient eyes pierced him, and that is where he got the answer. The moment you wished it, I got it. The moment Baba wishes anything, he doesn't give us all the time on a platter, so to speak. He just, pricks us, or he just goads us or triggers us, and we get the answer. Amazing? Was it amazing? And you ask eagerly, what's the answer? It's not me. It's not anyone else. It's not you. Strange? Baba says strange. Yes, it's strange, rare, but certainly true. What do you mean by this? And this is what now Bal Natuji is giving a superb reply as to, well, whenever you graciously pull me into the ocean of your being, that means when we get drowned in the remembrance, in the love of Baba, of your being, the moment I come out, drops of your presence falling on the beach form these conversations. So they are mine, yet not mine. Your eyes sparkled merrily, and you pinched my ear. Clever. This was again Baba's very frequent, gesture. Clever. And the ripples of your lively laughter engulfed us and drowned me in your wordless presence, without any wordless presence. And then it says, this is in response to letters from readers of the author's earlier book, Conversations with the Awakener. Now we go on to page number 3.
Don't be too long. Morning broke softly, breezes blew merrily through the fields, and as I was walking leisurely down a secluded road, a celestial hush was in the air. A deep quietude seemed to prevail over earth and sky. Then something unexpected happened. You appeared from a path that cut through the swaying green crops. Radiating a warm smile, you joined me on my walk. This was amazing. Although I had walked with you often,
Oh,
I have talked with you often, I have never before walked with you, keeping step and feeling the rhythm of your gait. What a profound and novel experience. A feeling of overwhelming wonderment bathed my being. I couldn't tell if I was walking on earth or in the heavens. I do not recall how long we walked together without speaking. Finally, you asked me teasingly, "Are you observing silence today?" And this brought me down to earth. "No, no," I replied. "But why don't we go to that rocky knoll and talk there?" Happily, you agreed. So we climbed the knoll and sat down. Not finding myself in a mood for conversation and needing more time to adjust to the sweet shock of your unexpected arrival, I remarked casually on the beauty of the sunrise. Isn't it fascinating how the sun is mirrored in the leaves, shimmering in everything? In appreciation of my observation, you looked at the horizon, but did not seem much impressed. Wonderful reflections depicting marvelous, imperfect shades of light. However, know well that I alone am the perfect mirror.
yeah. I think I just let us go through it again. I know it's a revision, it's a repetition, but that's sometimes I would like to do that. Here, basically, what Bal Natu ji is saying is that one fine morning he was just taking a stroll, just walking in the fields, and as he experienced a celestial hush in the air. Celestial would mean heavenly, divine, and hush would mean absolute quiet. Many times we are in such places where there is divinity in the area, in the surrounding, and absolute quiet. There's not a single sound happening. A deep quietude seemed to prevail over the earth and the sky. Then something unexpected happened. We always see in these writings that unexpectedly Baba is just coming in, popping up, sorry, manifesting. Yeah. You appeared from a path that cut through the swaying green crops. Radiating a warm smile, you joined me on my walk. This was amazing. Although I have talked with you often, I had never before walked with you, keeping step and feeling the rhythm of your gait. Of your gait is of his carriage. The way Baba would walk in the earlier days, of course, after the self-imposed suffering by way of by way of two automobile accidents, it was different. But before that, whenever he walked, he had a very divine gait, carriage we call it, as if he was flowing, as if he was flying. He was not touching the ground. So that was his, with swinging his arm and all that. Very beautiful, very long strides and all that. What a profound and novel experience, when Baba is walking with that carriage and the author is following. A feeling of overwhelming wonderment bathed my being. I couldn't tell if I was walking on earth or in the heavens. I do not recall how long we walked together without speaking. Finally, you asked me teasingly, "Are you observing silence today?" Another great characteristic aspect of Baba is his divine humor. He always gave importance to humor in our life. We must cultivate an art of taking things in a humorous way, of making light of things, of trying to add a pinch of humor into whatever we are going through. And obviously, the whole scenario lightens up. And this brought me down to earth. Means he was feeling so divinely walking with the Lord. And all of a sudden, he jokingly asked, Baba jokingly asked, are you observing silence today? No, no, I replied. But why don't we go to that rocky knoll and talk there? It's like a hillock. It's like a hill. Happily, you agreed. So we climbed the knoll and sat down. Not finding myself in a mood for conversation and needing more time to adjust to the sweet shock of your unexpected arrival, I remarked casually on the beauty of the sunrise. Many times it happens. People who have been with Baba, they say, the experience of just being with Baba and nothing ever said, either by you or by Baba or by the Mandali, just being in that divine presence is so invigorating, is so very energizing, is so very cooling and peaceful. So we prefer that nobody speaks anything. Let's just be in that space of absolute quietude. So here I remarked casually, isn't it fascinating how the sun is mirrored in the leaves, shimmering in everything? So he was giving the importance to the leaves as and by way of mirror, which is reflecting the image of the sun. Wonderful reflections depicting marvelous imperfect shades of light. However, know well, now Baba is saying that I alone am the perfect mirror. In other words, Baba has many times in the past attributed his being as a mirror. I remember one instance when, I think it was during the Manzile Meen period, when Baba would be in a Jalali mood. Those times Baba would just be so furious, so angry for something like absolutely nothing. He would just get angry, he would just fling things, he would just throw and all that. That was that phase of being Jalali during his coming down. Coming down phase was already over. But even then he was in that phase. And once Sarosh Irani emboldened himself to ask Baba, I said, Baba, why is it that you get angry every now and then for no reason? You know? And then Baba gave a superb reply saying that there is no such thing as anger or greed or jealousy, hatred, pride, lust in me. If you see me in that mood, it is only a reflection of what is inside you. And that is where Baba said, I am only a mirror. Whatever you see in me is a reflection of your own self, is a reflection of your own being. So here Baba talks about himself as the perfect mirror. Right, go ahead.
Intrigued in spite of myself, for I still wasn't ready for a serious or weighty discussion, I asked, what do you mean by this? I mean that I am so immaculately clean and impressionless that I reflect fully and clearly what you are as you are. This presents a challenge and also an opportunity for you or anyone. What is that challenge? That you dare to accept this with neither self-justification nor self-condemnation. And the opportunity? That I shall gladly lead you on to what you should be. What is that? Another mirror. But how is this possible? Don't ask me how. It is not that I do not wish to tell you, but just hearing the words will not in itself be of any benefit to you. On the contrary, it may even harm you. I was perplexed, but why? Because the process of cleansing away the images on the mirror is at times delightful and at times painful. Can't you help me to avoid the painful parts? I asked impatiently. Not entirely. You see, you have formed many respectable, rigid images of yourself. They are deeply engraved on your mind and heart. These, in turn, are shielded by many layers of thoughts and self centered feelings. So, ironically, in your quest for freedom, you have caged yourself more and more and deviated farther from your real nature. I fear I have not fully followed you. Confused as I am, my question has become more complicated by your answer. Sorry, please confuse me only as much as I can bear. What you can easily bear is no confusion. Now, my confusion is even worse.
Let's see. Now let's. It's a very beautiful learning. I remember Erach saying, but this is at a different level, where Baba is considered as the sun, and we are all the reflectors of Baba's image. So Erach would say that your job is to only keep your reflecting surface, which may be a mirror or any shining object, as clean and tidy as possible, so that you are able to reflect the sunlight of Baba, and Baba can speak through you to others. It's not just to you, but also through you to others. In other words, our job in Baba's fold is to keep ourselves as clean as possible so that we are able to reflect Baba's light as much as possible. That was his thinking. Here Baba is talking about himself as the mirror.
Not
Right.
so wanting us to be mirror.
Yeah. As the mirror, Baba is here talking about himself as the mirror, where we see ourselves in him. And then Baba, let's read up. All right. Intrigued, in spite of myself, because I still wasn't ready for a serious or weighty discussion, I asked, what do you mean by this? Sometimes you like to have very light discussions. Sometimes you go in a very serious discussions. And many times, even in Guru Prasad days, Baba would sometimes say, I don't want to say anything. Even in Sava's program, this is not the time for me to give all, serious discourses and all that. This is the time for you all to be just in my presence and enjoy my presence and be at home and forget all your stress and worries and everything. Just keep it there. Just be with me. That is the way to imbibe or to take upon ourselves the vibration, the good feelings of being around Baba. So there are times when Baba would be very serious, and there are times when he would just, in a very lighter vein, he would give some discourses. So here the author is saying that I don't want to go into very serious discussions. I mean that now, what do you mean by this when you talk about the mirror? Author is asking. So Baba says, I mean that I am so immaculately clean and impressionless. There are no impressions. That I reflect fully and clearly what you are as you are. This is what I said earlier, not knowing that it's following here, like how Sarosh Irani are. So I am an immaculate mirror. Everything gets reflected in me is as you are and what you are. This presents a challenge and also an opportunity for you or anyone. And this is a challenge for each one of us, how we view Baba, how we see Baba, how we interact with Baba in our own hearts, how we respond to Baba in our own day-to-day living. So it's an opportunity as well as a challenge. What is that challenge? That you dare to accept this with neither self-justification nor self-condemnation. Again and again, Baba has been emphasizing, do not judge anyone. That means including yourself. Do not condemn anyone. That means including yourself. Do not go into a mode of self-justification of who you are and what you are. And do not get into the mold of self-condemnation. Because many a times, I would say most of us have done something wrong, something or the other wrong in our own life. And we don't forgive ourselves. there is a self-condemnation. I shouldn't have done it, or I should have done what I did not do, or I did not do whatever, either which way, I did something which I should not have done, and all that. And Baba says that when that thought keeps on rotating in you, it pulls you down. It is not something, this is what one of the ways of Baba saying, this is your lower self, which is exhibiting itself. Yes, you have done something wrong. Ask for forgiveness, bring it out of your system, and then just forget about it. Just throw it out. Do not keep on circling it, because that is what is harmful. That is what is going to pull you, and see that you do not repeat that again. So it's so simple, life is in that sense. So Baba says, neither self, what is the challenge? That you dare to accept this with neither self-justification nor self-condemnation. That means you dare to accept who and what you are in the image which is reflected in Baba. And what is the opportunity? What the opportunity? That I shall gladly lead you on to what you should be. That means once we have resigned to Baba, who we are, whatever we are, once we have surrendered to Baba, once we are determined to be His, once we have decided to hold on to His Daman, no matter what, then He will just take you from where we are to where we should be. There's no question of, oh, I need to first cleanse myself. I need to first do this. Only then I'm worthy of becoming Baba's disciple or Baba's follower. Nothing of that sort. What is that? Another mirror. That means we are another mirror. But how is it possible? Now Baba says, there are times when Baba says, don't ask. Don't ask me how. It is not that I do not wish to tell you, but just hearing the words, because words are merely words, will not in itself be of any benefit to you. That it won't make any sense, because many people just go here, there, everywhere to listen to the pravachan, so-called pravachan, It's just listening. It has no value unless and until it is internalized and applied to our moment-to-moment living. So Baba says the words will not in itself be of any benefit to you. On the contrary, it may even harm you. We may misunderstand, we may misrepresent, and we may do something which is not meant for us to be done. I was perplexed. But why? Because the process of cleansing away the images on the mirror is at times delightful and at times painful. We know of a story of how when that bartan, we call it utensils, when we used to give it for kallai, I don't know what is it called. So the vessel has to be scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed. In the same way, the mirror, our mirror, has to be scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed, cleansed by Baba. And sometimes that can be what Baba says, because the process of cleansing away the images on the mirror is at times delightful and at times painful. What are the images? All the masks that we are wearing to show people of who we are, which we are not. So all that has to be removed, and the mirror has to be kept absolutely spotlessly clean. Can't you help me to avoid painful parts? I asked impatiently. Not entirely, because Baba's being with us in our life, in my understanding, cushions our fall. It buffers our pain. It reduces, our whatever we have to go through. But it does not entirely do away with our karma. This is my understanding, of course. And so Baba says, not entirely. You see, you have formed many respectable, rigid images of yourself. They are deeply engraved on your mind and heart. These, in turn, are shielded by many layers of thoughts and self-centered feelings. We are never open about ourselves. We are always covering ourselves with so many layers of thoughts and feelings. So, Ironically, in your quest for freedom, you have caged yourself more and more and deviated farther from your real nature. I think that applies to all of us. Sorry, deviated. Our intrinsic nature is bliss. Our intrinsic nature is joy, but we have covered itself with ourselves with so many layers of self-centered thoughts and feelings and emotions that we are not able to exhibit our true nature. I fear I have not fully followed you, which is again a very common thought process which Bal Natu ji keeps saying that it is confusing me, I do not understand. I like that. Confused as I am, my question has become more complicated by your answer. Sorry, I asked the simple question, you gave an answer, but now I feel more confused because it has been made more complicated. Please confuse me only as much as I can bear. You are so utterly confused. What can you easily bear is no confusion. See how Baba replied? If you can easily bear, then where is the question of confusion? You are not confused. Now my confusion is even worse. Now the sentence that follows is a superb sentence from Baba. Samya read.
When confusion is tired of itself, it becomes clarity.
That means the confusion in us should be so confused and tired of itself, only then clarity will dawn.
You said and smiled. But what is basically wrong with confusion?
See, now this is again Baba is saying, what is wrong with confusion? We are all confused, it's fine. We only through confusion we are able to we are led to clarity.
What's good about it? Does confusion serve some specific vital purpose in my life? Yes, of course, but only from the moment you have offered yourself willingly to me. Then confusion opens a new dimension in your life.
That means, sorry, anytime we are confused, so confused, Baba wants us to run to Him in our hearts, of course, to be open to Him, to surrender to Him, to confess, Baba, I am confused. Please show me the way out. So, confusion is good. Why? Because it leads us to Baba, to depend on Him. It leads us to call out to Him from more of our depth. Sometimes we call very superficially. But here, when we are utterly confused, I really don't know what to do. And when you call out, it's from the pit, it's from the deep of our being. And that is where clarity dawns.
I'm amazed to hear this, I responded. What is there to be amazed about? In confusion, you feel tired of yourself, and so you call on me more and more to take over the situation. On the other hand, in the state of so-called clarity, you cling more tightly to the image of yourself, which results in a stalemate in your journey to me, the eternally impressionless one, and you continue to go in circles in the whirlpool of your imagined ideal.
That means when we are not confused, we are clinging to our own image of self-centeredness, of selfishness, of who am I, wearing a mask and all that. And that does not help us to move towards the truth, towards reality, towards Baba. It is only in the state of confusion, especially in the state of deep and profound confusion, when we find no way out, it is then that we go within ourselves and call out to Baba from that most beautiful place. And then the experience of most of us is there is an instantaneous, absolutely on the spot change of the environment, of change of the situation, or some window will open and you will find a streak of sunlight coming from there, and that will tell you that this is the way we are supposed to go. Go ahead.
Then Do you want me to be in a state of confusion rather than clarity? No, you have missed the real point. What counts is neither confusion nor clarity, but greater and deeper trust in me. Trust in my being with you all the time, whatever state you are in.
So Baba doesn't say that purposely you get into confusion so that you come to. Baba says, no, not at all. It's not a question of clarity. It's not a question of confusion. It just means that you must at all times and in all the state trust me. Keep me as your constant companion. Connect with me. Keep a channel constantly open and flowing between you and me so that I can guide you in the right way.
A small cloud can eclipse the sun. At that moment, a passing thought veiled my mind and heart. I suddenly remembered that I was due to meet a friend. Against my will, anxiety began to darken my appreciation of your sunlit words. Strange but true. Incredible are the ways of self to fortify itself.
See, now he was in the midst of such a beautiful conversation, and all of a sudden, as he says, a small cloud can block the eclipse the sun. So I was in such a beautiful state, and all of a sudden a thought passed by mind. Oh, I have to meet somebody. You see, that way.
All abruptly, I said, I am expecting a dear friend of mine to visit me this morning. I haven't seen him for many months. The expression on your face changed. Gently, you replied, really? Why didn't you tell me sooner? And apologetically, you added, sorry, I kept you so long. I won't delay you further.
See, Baba is so very flexible. As long as you are with Baba, he will draw you as much as possible. The moment you express something, he will immediately change his stance and make you feel, oh, you should be going. Many times, even when Baba's ministry, when somebody would come and say, oh, Baba, it is my time to go to school, or time to go to college, or time for namaz, or time to do this. Baba would say, oh, go, you should not be late, you must do. Not realizing that we are in the presence of God himself. And here a small cloud, as he says, is now drifting us from that awesome presence into running to a school or college or temple or for namaz or for whatever it is. And Baba would never show a kind of, that unhappiness or disgust. On the contrary, he will be very sweet, very childlike, very apologetic. Yeah, like how it is. Oh, I'm so sorry that I kept you waiting. Go. You must go and meet your friend. That kind of. So immediately he would change his stance, his viewpoint, and encourage us into doing what we intend to do. I'm just elongating a little bit. This has been Baba's practice. And Baba has always said that whatever I say first should be followed. Now, Baba said a certain thing, and maybe we are following for a little while, and then all of a sudden we have some very originating thought, and but Baba, I think this should be better. This should be a better idea if we do like this and all that. Now Baba is omniscient; he knows everything. He will not say, I know everything. Don't talk nonsense and all that." He would say, "Oh, is that so? Really? I didn't know this. Oh, thank God you told me this. You reminded me this." And his whole being will change as if he is supporting your thought. He is supporting your way of looking at things. And we feel happy. Oh, wow. Baba now is with me. But actually, we have separated ourselves from Baba by not towing his line of thought, and now interrupting in telling Baba that this is a better way of doing it. Many times it has happened with the Mandli also, and from those instances we get to know. Baba would say, let us take this route, and somebody would look up the map or must have heard some news and say, no, no, Baba, there's a lot of crowd on this, lot of potholes, lot of this and all that. Oh, I didn't know this. Oh, is that so? Okay. Then somebody, they would ask and they would say, oh, there's a shortcut from here. If I waste 1 hour, you can reach there in 10 minutes. And Baba would follow that. Okay, very nice. 10 minutes would take 5 hours then. So that is again the same thought, the expression on your face changed. Gently you replied, really? Why didn't you tell me sooner? And apologetically you added, sorry, I have kept you so long. I won't delay you further.
With these words, you reached over and patted my shoulder. Go home quickly. Otherwise, you might not be there to welcome your friend. I got up and began to walk fast towards the house. A petty, fleeting bond of affection, a passing cloud blocking the sun, made me even forget to say goodbye.
See
My
how
friend-
all of a sudden the so-called Maya, the so-called cloud is taking over. And the author says, in that excitement, in that anxiety to see my friend, to welcome my friend, I even forgot to say goodbye to you.
My friend did not come that morning, nor even that week. This made me think all the more about the loss of your company and my own stupidity with you. I would not have imagined that a trivial relationship could be so elusive and possessive as to draw me away from you, the most intimate one. Surely on that day, I most foolishly traded the perfect mirror for a piece of shining glass.
He traded the perfect mirror for a piece of shining glass. He traded God with his friend who never turned up that day.
Whenever I recall the guileless expression on your face as you said sorry with a genuine
Very innocent, very guileless.
with a genuine intimacy, it pains my heart. I marvel at your unconditional love that flows in spite of my repeatedly foolish behavior.
This is the beauty of Baba, that we repeatedly make mistakes, that we repeatedly get involved in foolishness, in foolish behavior, and he repeatedly forgives us. And there is no blemish, there is no condemnation. There's a nice saying in Hindi which says, words to the effect, many times it goes like something like this, that मैं रोज गुनाह करता हूँ, गुनाह means sin, मैं रोज गुनाह करता हूँ, मैं आदत से मजबूर हूँ. Majboor means helpless. It is my helplessness that I constantly make mistakes or sin or whatever it is. मैं रोज गुनाह करता हूँ, मैं आदत से मजबूर हूँ. This may not be the exact words, but words. और आप रोज क्षमा करते हो, आप क्या what is मशहूर हो, अब रहमत से मशहूर हो. Again, I wish I could have got the exact meaning. Yani, you are constantly forgiving me. I am constantly sinning because it has become my habit, regular habit. And you are constantly forgiving because you are mashhur, because you are known to be the most merciful one. अब मैं आदत से मजबूर हूं और आप रहमत से मशहूर हो. Means you are known for your rahmat. Rahmat meaning forgiveness, mercy. All right, go ahead.
Weeks have now passed, and sometimes I go out for morning walks. The outside visible world remains as lovely as ever, but it holds no charm for me. It is now devoid of something vital, the warmth of your company, which I belittled and even dishonored.
I belittled your company. I dishonored your company by running away from you without even telling you goodbye, just to meet some small petty friend.
Now, let every step I take be an invitation to you. Please visit me even for a few moments so that I may confess my folly to you and beg your pardon. Until then, normalcy shall not return to my life. My grief is becoming poignant. This pain of longing is also your gift, and I know you will come. But when? Come soon. Don't be too long.
Don't be too long. So this is, we all go through this foolishness of doing things which keeps us apparently away from Baba, or rather Baba away from us, and we are longing to feel his presence in our heart once again. So that was the chapter. Don't be too long. We are exactly at 6:30. If there are any questions, anything to share, anything to say, you are most welcome. Otherwise, we close the session. All right, nothing at all. Thank you, Baba, and thanks to all of you. Avtar Meher Baba ki Jai. Jai Baba. Thank you, Baba.
Jai.
Hey, Baba, thank you.
जय मेर बाबा, जय मेर बाबा।
जय बाबा।